everyone, this is Sally with the Polka Dot Life. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. I thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you aren't a regular subscriber, take a minute and hit that red subscribe button so that my videos will show up in your feed and you can get some more crafting ideas. I have missed you all. Oh my goodness. I have had a few surgeries and the last one was a total knee replacement and it just put me down for a while. I have no other way to say it, and a lot of intense physical therapy. So there's just not a lot of time to go around. But I wanted to hop on here and go into some of the celebration items before they are gone, either at the end of August or if they sell out first. I checked before filming and these were still available. So I wanted to take a minute and we can play with some really cute hippos. Let's flip the camera down and get started on today's project. Let's open our celebration catalog to pages 4 and 5. There we will find the Hippest Hippos Stamp Set and the Hippo Dies that coordinate. Now you will see you have dies to cut out each of these 3 images, and then you're going to have several standalone dies, and those you'll see in the pictures being used to make a wash tub, water splashes, umbrella, flowers, grass. You can use this wavy one as either grass or waves or just a design element in your project. And then back on page 11, you will find the silver and gold DSP, and we're going to be using some of that as well. Each one of those 3 items are free with a $50 purchase before shipping and tax. So if you would want all 3, then you would spend $150. You would get these 3 free items. You would get host rewards as well. To start out with, I have our Hippest Hippos Stamp Set, and I have the little hippo with the ballerina. She has on her tutu. And I live in a pretty humid place in the summer, so I am just going to stamp a couple of these. I'll just do a top and bottom, just in case I need an extra. None of you ever have any stamping boo-boos, do you? Or coloring boo-boos. And so I am just going to put these to the side for a minute and let them dry. I have my Orchid Oasis ink pad and my So Saffron ink pad. And so I'm going to take my purple and I am going to take my yellow blending brush. And there is no right or wrong to this. There is no right or wrong way. There's more than one way to do this. A lot of times I really prefer to take my acrylic blocks and get my ink on those to do my blending with, but today I just was kind of out of room, and so we're just going to do it this way. And I could have used either my purple or my blue, honestly, in here. It's kind of a blurple color. And so I am just going to start here and get that color in my brush. It doesn't completely take away some of these little marks, but it does help. So I'm going to kind of do mine like half down. I'm going to make like fourths in my DSP. And it's just a little process here of just getting some ink onto this, and you control how deep you want that saturation to be on your paper. I love this Orchid Oasis color, so I kind of want a lot of it put down on the paper. And then I will open my So Saffron. Now, I did find out, you know, the two colors I'm using don't necessarily blend to make a pretty color. So I am going to just get these kind of as close as I can without doing a lot of blending together of the two colors. I really just want to color my paper. And see, I like that deep saturation. I just really like that bold color. So fun. And then I'm going to scoot this one up. And I'm going to come here on this other side. Again with the yellow, with our So Saffron. If you didn't have So Saffron, you could use another color of yellow. And of course, you could just use your favorite colors. They wouldn't have to be these colors at all. That is what is so great about this paper, is you can make it be whatever color that you want. Now, I am just going to kind of connect these two up here. And you can see it's not the best color when it blends together, but it does work to get a little bit of color down. Of course, you could do this all one color. You could do this 3 colors. You could do it 5 colors. You do however you want your piece of paper to look. I just know with the layout design I came up with that I like this pattern of 4ths. Now we are going to be cutting this down, so keep that in mind as well. We're just again staying back here until we get a lot of that color down on the paper, kind of just moving up here, but not necessarily trying to blend these two together. Now, if it was a pink or a blue, I would absolutely blend those colors together. It would turn out really nice, but these two just kind of don't make the prettiest color. Now I'm just going to move this over to the side for a minute or so to dry. I'm just going to work on our little hippo here at the bottom. And I guess I had my light basic black, but I didn't need that one because I forgot this mouth on this one is closed. I usually will start with the black just because it's an alcohol marker. I don't care what the quality of marker is if you have an issue with coloring with your black marker, you're probably not going to recover from that. So let's start with our lightest color, and that is the light So Saffron. And I am just going to put a layer down. The one I used before, I used the Mango Melody, and I thought it was a little bit harsh. So I'm going to try this one in the So Saffron just to see how it turns out. And we're going to let this coat, or not coat, but we're going to let this layer, this application of the yellow dry, and we'll come back to it. Next, we want to take our light petal pink, and we are going to color her tummy. That's just how I felt it might look. I know that I think hippos are really all dark colored, but we're just going to pretend, warm and fuzzy, that she has a cute little pink tummy. And then down here is the continuation. And she's already looking so, so cute. Next, now we're doing the light gray granite. And I've fixed my light. It had gone out, so hopefully you'll be able to see this better. And like I say, you just need to move your project to where you can see well. You be the master of the project. Remember, your ink is going to go whatever direction you are pushing it. So like if you're pushing it down in there to that pink tummy and you get too much, that's where it's going to go. Or if you're pushing it outside of the line, that's where it's going to go if you get it too saturated. So I like this. I think that's really fun. And then now we'll take our dark gray granite. And we're going to come in a different area from where we just worked. Give that a little chance to settle down so that that alcohol doesn't go towards that other area. And if you get a little overzealous and you cover up one of your eyes, use your color lifter to make the white in the eyes come back out. You can do that. That's pretty recoverable. Now this you have to just use a real light hand and come up alongside of there. Just go slow and take your time. So fun. Then I am going to come in around the hoof. Now I didn't color her little nails in. I could, especially on a girl, you could make them colored just to be funny. I've seen some where they take the black marker and color them in. I just kind of didn't love that. I thought it looked a little harsh. So if you think you want to play around with that, do a couple practice runs and color the black on that first and see what you think of it. And then you won't have spent a long time coloring just to not love the result. And there, that just took a few minutes and she's super, super sweet. Now, I do want to go back in with this marker. And since that other one didn't just go real dark, well, no, these are little areas. I think I still need to stick with this. I like to use this brush end. I could have gotten away with it on the skirt, but not on her ballet slippers. But it just needed another little layer of this saffron. And that's one of the great thing about our Stamp and Blend markers is that you can add color. You can build color on top of color. It's really nice that way. And I'm kind of noticing just a little shading variant on her nose. And I could take the color lifter and kind of go over that, but I'm just going to go back over it here and maybe not as heavily in this area, or just kind of do it quickly, I guess I should say. I think it just took me too long to get, I was talking and get through that layer. And it kind of just showed where I blended that in. But this will all dry nicely. And we have the great dies to match this. So that is just a super great thing that I can just cut that right out. I will be right back. The first thing that we need to do is cut down our layer of DSP. And I'm going to kind of, let's just see here how I want to do this. think this is about where I want to cut that. I will have all the measurements on my blog, so you don't need to worry about grabbing any measurements. And, you know, don't throw these away. These work for a lot of other projects. And then I just want to turn it this way. I just kind of didn't want to cut all the one color off. So here we go. Here's our layer. Okay, we have our layers and we have our thick basic white card base. This is just a really simple card, but I think it's really cute. So we are just going to put this on. I love this Orchid Oasis color, and from what I am hearing from everyone, they love it as well. Now, you could pop your layer up on some dimensionals. However, I'm going to have some other things on dimensionals, so I have opted to just use liquid glue. And we're just going to put this straight down. Okay, super fun. Now we're just simply going to build a scene. And so I'm just going to bring this over for a minute while we work on it. Just have a little layer of regular basic white. And then I have a piece of Orchid Oasis and a piece of the In Color Designer Series paper. We have our sweet little hippo, and I made some cute flowers with our dies. Don't know how many of those I'll use now. And we have an umbrella. To start building our scene, I am just going to put a little dab of glue right there. That's probably even too much. And I am just going to kind of figure about where I want her on my card, just to see that I put this at the right angle. And you know, I am just even going to take up a little bit of that glue just because it came out a little thicker than I wanted. And let's even turn her a little bit. We're not actually putting her down yet, but I just wanted to make sure that I could get all of this on my scene where I wanted to. Okay, I'm just gently going to turn over my hippo girl. And I am going to put some dimensionals on the back. I happen to use a lot of dimensionals. You might not. So you just kind of go with what feels right to you. There's no right or wrong amount. And you know, if you don't have any mini dimensionals, I don't have any over here at this desk. So I am just going to go in here and cut one right in half. And that's what I'm going to put here on the umbrella. I have my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just gonna take these backings off here. Forget that that's only attached with that little tiny piece of cardstock, so I want to be gentle there. And I'll just grab that one. I like to take just a little bit of liquid glue on something that I want to be able to slide around to get it in just the right place, especially when I have that little umbrella stem attached and it's very delicate. It's just enough to kill the tack. I'm not drowning it. It's just enough to kill the tack of that glue. And so I want this to go kind of toward the top, kind of in the center, but not exactly. So there we go. I love her. I think she is super, super cute. Gonna grab with my putty end my little flower, or the bigger, one of the bigger flowers. And so I am just going to come over here and put one of these larger flowers over here. And I am going to grab one of the other. I have one more large flower. And I kind of just want to lay that other one there, just so I can get these about the right place. Just bring that in as well. I don't think I'm going to use another one. Might slide that one in just a little tiny bit. Just enough that it doesn't show any glue, but just made it a little bit closer. So let's bring our card base back in, and I am just going to kind of sit this on here, figure out about where I'd like it to be. Kind of look at these margins. And I'm kind of trying to get the three the same. I really want to make sure these two are the same. This one really doesn't matter so much. Now I'm going to bring in this Orchid Oasis piece and the Orchid Oasis Designer Series paper. You could use either side. It wouldn't matter. You just pick. I like the flowers since we were using the flowers. And you just want to put some glue. And maybe not go the whole way to the edge because it's going to overhang. And we're just going to guesstimate. If I had my grid paper over here, I could get a little bit more exact, but we aren't going to worry about it. I think that looks pretty good. Just going to kind of lay that just to make sure that it kind of looks even once I have it done that way. And put some on our Orchid Oasis. And we are just going to leave a little bit of a gap there. And so we want to look here and here, since that other piece isn't glued down. So that looks pretty good. This looks pretty straight with the bottom of my card. Now, like I say, you could put this up on dimensionals 2. I just chose not to. I'm going to put this down with some liquid glue. I'm going to leave just a little gap in here just to make the eye happy. Let some of that color come through. Then I'm just going to straighten everything up and even everything up. Super, super fun. Now, I have a sentiment from our set that says, "You're always on point," and I did that ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. And I'm just going to put this on here. I'm not going to press down on it just yet. It will kind of hang there. And just kind of make sure it looks good. So isn't that fun? But we need one more thing. I have some 20, 22, 24 in color matte dots. And you just want to take a minute every now and again to just kind of regather that putty at the top of your Take Your Pick tool. And let's see here. We could use either the Starry Sky or the Orchid Oasis, but we're going to stick with our Orchid Oasis theme here. And we're just going to bring a dot over and make the center of our flower. And doesn't that just make everything just jump off the page? That little tiny resin dot just kind of brings it to life, I think. Isn't that super fun? So of course, I decorated an envelope for this one as well. You could certainly decorate the inside however you would like to. Being on the thick white, you would not have to put a liner in it, but if you wanted some more color, you could do a matte with your Orchid Oasis or your So Saffron and then do a basic white layer in there. I have a few more cards to show you. Here, let's just compare here, and you can see what you like on the skirt. I don't know. I might like the Mango Melody better. I might have used the dark So Saffron. So there you have a darker and a lighter version. And here we have another version with our little hippo bringing a flower to someone, and it says, "Love you a ton." It has the little dots here and some more of that DSP. This is just the opposite side of that. I had cut that first piece, I cut a thicker piece off of it versus the smaller ones. And so I used that across here. So keep that kind of in mind whenever you're using your DSP, but you do get quite a bit in that package. And I took some and did the envelope as well. And I used some of our Orchid Oasis in color ribbon. And then I have You Really Are the Best. And I did some hearts and some little, I'm guessing they're flowers or suns. You could probably get away with using either one of them. And this one, I used the stripe paper on it, and then one of those leftover strips of the dotted. And again, I didn't decorate the inside of these cards. So I just thought these were super, super fun. And so we have 3 cards, all using some fun colors. I love that Orchid Oasis. I love some So Saffron. And it is just so fun to play with the blending brushes and kind of create your own paper. You get to be the designer of how you want it to look. And so I think that all 3 of these choices are really great choices of your celebration gifts. I do think that if you are going to use one of your choices as your hippos, you really should get the dies. And I would get any of these hippo things sooner rather than later, because they are only while supplies last, or until the end of August 2022. And so the paper is great, but these 2 coordinate together so nicely. I would make those my first 2 choices, and then I would grab that paper as my 3rd choice. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.